Justin Trudeau's Agriculture Department is hiring a climate change consultant to convince farmers to adopt expensive, yield-killing business practices. Agri-Food Canada's new hire will identify parts of the federal government's climate change agenda that are, quote, perceived by producers as penalizing them, end quote, and then convince us simple farmers to adopt them. The federal government job posting to the Merck's website relates to the Agriculture Department's Business Risk Management Program, or BRM program, which encourages farmers to take expensive steps to cut their carbon footprint and thus help the Liberals meet their climate change targets at all costs, even if it means increasing food costs.
While Conservatives still debate whether or not climate change is real, while some of those members say that climate change is actually created by body heat from humans, others say that carbon dioxide is good for the planet, Mr. Speaker. 200,000 farmers in the last decade, say they've experienced the impacts of climate change, making food costs going up. There's no link between carbon pricing and food price, but there is a link between climate change impacts and food prices. What's the Conservative response? More climate change, Mr. Speaker.
My common sense plan, axe the Trudeau tax to bring home lower prices.
This is all part of the Liberals' climate change manifesto, wherein food must be more expensive and those kulaks, I mean Western farmers like myself, well, we must be poorer to make the weather better. It's all for science, you see. This new consultant's job will be basically to spin doctor those simple Western farmers into making changes to on-the-farm practices to be greener. And greener doesn't mean less polluting, because farmers already care about pollution. The health of the environment is the health of our farms. But we don't think taxes change the weather, generally speaking. And we know CO2 is scientifically plant food, not the thermostat for global temperatures the Liberals claim it to be. Now, this new federal government consultant will identify elements of the design or implementation of each BRM program that could be perceived by producers as penalizing them or incentivizing them to adjust their farming or business practices, and which could have an impact on on-farm decisions related to climate change adaptation and or mitigation. I have never made a single on-the-farm decision related to climate change adaptation and or mitigation, and I don't know a single farmer who has, ever. Let's keep going. The consultant will also identify and assess potential changes to the business risk management program that could increase producer incentives or minimize producer disincentives for climate change adaptation or mitigation. Like you, I can't wait to learn what urban green intellectual they've hired to tell us Western farmers how to do our jobs. And of course, as you know, the feds have come under scrutiny for the Liberals' growing unaccountable consultant culture, with federal agencies increasingly hiring outside contractors with little oversight and even less to show for the millions spent on programs like Arrive can.
With the totality of what you've heard on the Arrive scam, is there an investigation?
So if I, Mr. Chair, and I confirm that there is an investigation, and we're not going to comment because it's ongoing.
The job of this consultant is really to put some shine on Justin Trudeau's attacks on Western farmers. As you know, Justin Trudeau promised a forced 30% reduction in fertilizer use for farmers, and that's on top of his escalating carbon tax. And these are policies mimicking those that led to mass protests in the Netherlands and a change in the Dutch government there for the better. Let's hope Trudeau and his government are met with the very same fate. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Justin Trudeau's attacks on Western farmers are really attacks on you, because his attacks on farmers will drive up the cost of food for every Canadian family. To fight back against these job-killing policies, please go to nogreenreset.com.